Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina and I'm about to rock your socks with my 2022 K-pop predictions. Now, have I been wrong before with my predictions? I can't say that maybe that's up for debate. Have I ever been bullied by K-pop stans for just having predictions? Never. But K-pop stans and ethics aside, this year what we're going to do is a little bit different. I'm going to take a look and reference what I said last year about what would happen this year, and we're going to see whether or not I was right, whether or not I was wrong. And then again next year we're going to look at this video and see if I was right or I was wrong. It's going to be a little bit of interaction, a little bit of continuity, so we can see, what came true and what didn't come true. And I'm a little bit of a genius, not gonna lie. Some of these things did come true. I don't want to alarm anybody because I literally said live vocals would die in 2021. And from Twice to Ateez to even Blackpink and even all the way to CL and general predictions, I'm going to share with you what I think they're going to accomplish in the coming year. And of course, feel free to let me know in the comments down below what your predictions are as well. But if you're interested in this type of video, then don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. But when I do videos like this, sometimes people are like, wow, you really don't know these idols. You're wrong and you're terrible for even predicting that. To me, they're just predictions. Like, I'm literally pulling this out of my ass. But I hate to break it to you, I don't actually know what they're gonna do. I can just assume, and I do try to make it a little fun, right? Because why would I predict what's obvious? You know what? You want me to sit here and tell you that there's gonna be another Blackpink drought? Is that fun for you? Blackpink won't have a comeback this year. Every time someone says that, their comeback is delayed by 3.5 days. You're the reason they're not having. But I mean, yeah, duh. On that note, let's start with Blackpink and my predictions for Blackpink. So I actually did predictions for Miss Rosé's comeback and Lisa's solo debuts, actually comebacks. In what universe? I mean, I guess we'll start with the boring shit. I don't think we're gonna get an OT4 comeback right away, but I think we're gonna get fed, but very sporadically, like we were this year. I mean, we didn't get an OT4 comeback, but we got fed quite considerably. We got 2 solos, we got collabs. So next year, obviously, we're gonna get Jisoo's drama, which I think is gonna be really big. But I really don't picture Jisoo having her own solo. At least not before the OT4 comeback, because she's really busy with her drama, right? And then after her drama, I feel like they're going to put a lot of effort into the OT4 comeback. I'm not a pessimist. I really think they're going to have an OT4 comeback. I think it's going to be probably the same level of How You Like That. But I wonder if it's really going to exceed How You Like That. They've been gone for a really long time. Do I believe in them? Absolutely. How You Like That was huge. Even if it reaches a quarter of what How You Like That was, that is still immensely successful. I think it'll be on the same level as How You Like That. But for Jisoo's comeback, I think it's going to happen after the hype from the OT4 comeback dies down, which can generally take a year or two. Honestly, the hype from How You Like That is only dying down right now. And that came out well over a year ago. So I think, her solo is going to happen, but I really don't picture happening next year unless they really treat her solo like a pre-release. So she would have a song to kind of hype up their OT4 comeback. But I'm just not really picturing it. Do you know what I mean? As for Lisa and Rosé, I did very specific predictions for them last year. So let's talk a little bit about that, what I got wrong. Or right. I predicted that her solo would have very obvious ad placements. So with 100% certainty, I definitely think there's going to be some YSL ad placements within the music video. It just makes sense. And I'm predicting that it's not going to be subtle either. You're going to be able to tell that it's YSL. The logo is going to be spelled out perfectly for us. But I was wrong about that. Where did we see YSL in her music video for On the Ground? I didn't. I know she was wearing expensive ass shit. Could I tell you who it was? No, I don't know. The elitism! I also said she would throw us a curveball and rap, and I think she did everything but that. She literally released a sleep story. No rapping though. But I was definitely right about the direction of her solo. I predicted she would have a more dance-based solo track. I feel like a lot of people kind of expect her to kind of just sit there with her guitar and that would be it. I think maybe within an album for a B-side track, maybe she could promote a B-side track that is more along those lines. But I personally feel like YG would want a sound that would be more easily digestible. So I definitely think they would play it safe for the title track. I don't think it would sound like How You Like That or Do in that sense where it's very easily digestible. But again, I think definitely a bit more in line with something like Lovesick Girls. So that kind of sound mixed a little bit with Stay, mixed a little bit with Somi's What You Waiting For. Slight little tropical sound, kind of a bit mellow, but enough of a poppy sound to have a choreography to it, but not enough emphasis on the choreography where her vocals are completely neglected. I was completely right about that because we got On the Ground, which had choreography, and then we also had Gone, a B-side track, which had zero choreography and it was a lot softer. And even though her heart and soul, like I believe her heart and soul went into Gone, like that is her through and through in my opinion, it just makes more sense for that to be a B-side track, just from a marketing perspective, but that I did definitely get right. As for Lisa, I predicted that she wouldn't only rap. As for Lisa's solo, I think the more kind of expected thing to do would be kind of like a hip-hop song, something very like heavily rap based, but I do feel like she wouldn't exclusively do a rap song. I do think she would try to show off some level of vocals, so perhaps something along the lines of Ring-a-Ling-a by Taeyang, but the overall style of that song could be really cool to see. I predicted that she would throw in some vocals, that it wouldn't be what we were expecting of her. And I would say I was half right about that because La Lisa is definitely what I predicted. You know, we have some soft vocals. She raps only a little bit in it. It was a curveball. It wasn't what people were expecting from her. But then we also got Money as a B-side track, which was indeed what people were expecting from her. And it ended up being a lot more popular than we anticipated, right? We would have anticipated the title track to be more popular. Now, before we move on to another group, I did want to include my toxic Blink friend, Sherry. And her opinion, I think, you know, Sherry has reached peak fame amongst our community. I know you guys have heard of her before. I was talking to another friend and I said, oh, I have a friend who reached Blackpink's 0.05% in top Spotify listeners. And my friend goes, is that your toxic Blink friend? I was like, yeah, you know, Sherry's pretty famous. Anyways, Sherry says that YG saw the success of Next Level and would want to an extent to replicate that. Because YG would see that aespa have a grasp on the general public's interest on the charts. So she says Blackpink's next comeback would be a mix of Next Level and Pretty Savage. And I quote, I think BP's next title is going to be The Trend. And I say this because Teddy is going to bring a new sound. Mofo has only given 2 original songs this year and he better have fresh ideas like he used to. And I think the style, etc., is going to start a new trend in K-pop. And also Twice is going to disband. On that note, let's talk about Twice. I feel like everyone and their mothers really think that Twice is going to disband, that Twice is overworked. I agree, Twice is definitely overworked. I'm quoting Sherry again, overworked and fucked for 6 years to not have any solo work. I don't necessarily think that Twice are going to disband, but I definitely think there has to be changes made, right? Because we have members going on hiatus due to injuries, due to anxiety, and I think, you know, changes definitely have to be made. So unless there's really like a scandal or something wild that happens to Twice, I don't think they will disband like that. I feel like they would go a more Girls' Generation route where it would happen kind of organically. It wouldn't be very heart-wrenching because people wouldn't really, you know, it wouldn't be put in your face, this is an official disbandment. They would probably, you know, more or less stay together. I see it happening very peacefully, if that makes sense. You know, Girls' Generation, we're not, you know, we never got like disbandment news, if that makes sense, compared to, let's say, 21, where it was, you know, blasted in our faces. We even got a goodbye song. So between the two, I would definitely see a more Girls' Generation route. But you never know. I just don't feel like it's Twice's time to end. I don't know why everyone, I understand people, you know, sentiments towards this, but, you know, I just became a once. This can't happen to me again. I know a lot of people are bringing up the fact that their contract will be ending and that they might not want to renew another 7 years or whatever their contract is. They debuted in what, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 7 years. Good math. Now, do I necessarily think they would sign another 7-year contract? I don't think so, but I also don't think that they're in the same position they were in 2015. I think they're definitely in a position where they could negotiate something a little bit shorter, a little bit tamer, something a little bit more reasonable than another 7-year contract. You know, I think they have a little bit more leverage than they did 7 years ago, but you never know with these big companies. Of course, I think Onces would want Twice to be around forever. It's just, it's unrealistic. You don't have many groups at all that survive all these years or survive all these years with the same amount of members. So like I said, if people are going on hiatus due to anxiety, due to injuries, I definitely think it's a perfect chance to take a break. Do I think they necessarily would? Probably not. But I just really don't see disbandment in the future, if that makes sense. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I feel like a lot of people are very much convinced of this. As for their next comeback, because I really do believe there will be another comeback, I definitely, maybe this is more in line with what I want, but I definitely, I want an I Can't Stop Me 2.0. As I mentioned before in my last predictions video, I said that Twice probably wouldn't top I Can't Stop Me. I think they keep on going in a darker and darker direction. So I don't think they really have any intentions to release cute songs like they used to. You know, we saw a song like Cry For Me. I think it's going to be along those lines. But I don't think it's going to reach the same level as I Can't Stop Me. I feel like I Can't Stop Me, they set the bar really high for that song, so I think maybe the next song or maybe 2 songs is gonna be like amazing, but it won't quite reach that level. However, when I said their next comeback would be like pop punk inspired, because we got like the exact opposite of that, but we did end up getting Cute Twice. Which is honestly so odd because I have been begging for Cute Twice comeback. As for what I would love Twice to do, I mean, obviously I love Cute Twice. Their cute songs really make my day. They make me feel light and fluffy inside, so I would die for a cute comeback. Though honestly, it's probably very unlikely. Something like Need You's Make You Happy, like that would just be amazing. I would just love to see that once again. But otherwise, I'm actually really content with the direction that Twice is going anyways, so it's not like the biggest deal. I think Alcohol Free was great. It was new and innovative in my opinion. It was still following this momentum of Twice trying out new things, right? They were no longer doing this bubblegum pop cute stuff. But the thing is with the feels, people were saying like, wow, Twice is really taking it back, and I just can't get on board with that. I don't agree that that's true. If you look at the feels, you really can't compare it to What Is Love. It's a lot more powerful. It's really not that bubblegum pop. But let me know what you think about that. Moving on to Ateez. Now, I was really excited because at the time that I was, writing my outline for this video, I was right mostly about what they would do in 2021. So this is a year, of course, where Ateez, we already know they're doing a lot, but I feel like they're gonna push it to a point where it's just like it's just a lot. I still think they're going to release 3 songs like they did last year. So they released Fireworks and then, their double title tracks, Deja Vu and Eternal Sunshine. But then as I was about to film this video, obviously they just released 2 more title tracks, so they really exceeded my expectations. My theories, however, for the concepts in my last video were very much off. Could be along the lines of BAP's Warrior, where it sounds really intense and literally just throw themselves on the ground for the choreography. But I did say that the killing point in one of their choreographies would be very simple but impactful. That seems effortless but is a little bit difficult. So if you can picture something like Beast's Fiction, it's very simple, looks super cool, or just something that seems so effortless rather than energetic, which I feel is what they're really known for. And I would say I'm correct with that because in Deja Vu's choreography, we have a very simple hip move that is nevertheless impactful. As for what I could predict for Ateez, I don't know. I feel like for one album, they'll release like 86 photo cards. I don't know where to go from here, because it's really obvious to say like they're gonna have like 5 comebacks. But I guess to add on to this, to add on something fun, let's just say I also think they'll get another big show, kind of like their Mnet Treasure film or their Fever Road with Kakao. Another specific Ateez prediction that I have is that they're gonna open up their own Instagram accounts. And I say this because within Ateez's Instagram account specifically, we're starting to see their own hashtags. So we have fixon_stagram, we have Hongstagram, we have, Jongstagram. We're starting to see their own little hashtags when they themselves are posting things. And I don't remember ever seeing those hashtags before. So I'm really hoping that they're going to open up their own Instagram accounts. And that is my prediction. As for a comeback specific prediction, I've given up on that. I feel like constantly they're exceeding my expectations and they're giving me things that I wasn't expecting or trying out something new. So I give up. Now let's touch on CL very briefly before we get into the general predictions, who I'm going to be looking out for, and then some of your predictions as well. I feel like CL is going to perform at like the biggest award show ever. Like I feel like she'll perform at the Grammys or something, somewhere where we really don't expect her, because she's been everywhere. You know, I look to my left and she's at the Met Gala. I look to my right, she's on Hot Ones. Like she's on the Kelly Clarkson show. She's literally everywhere. It wouldn't surprise me like she's randomly at the Grammys. Maybe she wins a Grammy. She's like so sneaky. I turn away for a minute and she's somewhere. Now for my who's on my radar section. So, you know, 17 and Tomorrow by Together are definitely groups whose songs I've definitely loved this year. Do I think I would actually take on a new boy group? I don't think so, but I can definitely picture myself casually standing them. Stray Kids, I predicted in my last video that in 2021 I would definitely start standing them maybe. I still look out for Stray Kids. I just haven't loved their releases except for Christmas Evil this year. So I'm still paying attention to Stray Kids, but as of right now, really Tomorrow by Together and 17, in terms of discography, it's really touching me right now. So I definitely have my eyes peeled out for them. And I'm really interested in STAYC. There's a lot of groups that I am interested in, but in terms of discography, again, it's not really clicking with me. The lighting is getting so bad. I'm so sorry. We're almost done. So moving on to some general predictions. I said in my last video that live vocals would die in 2021. I do think they'll make a slight effort sometimes to integrate live vocals into what they're already doing, but I don't think it's going to be much of a priority. And I was right. I just feel like it's really hard to gauge if a performance is actually live or if it's not. If you do end up hearing live vocals, they tend to be so touched up, they tend to be so filtered that it kind of takes away from the experience anyways. It's not to say that you cannot vibe with the performance at all. There are still some performances where they do feel quite raw, but I think performances are going to take a turn as a whole because fourth gen stands don't care about live vocals. You know, someone could be very clearly lip syncing and fourth gen stands don't care, and I don't think they need to care because the performances, like what makes a performance has definitely changed over the years. So what I think is going to happen, I think more or less music shows are going to kind of become slightly irrelevant. Not totally irrelevant, but I do think companies are going to take it into their own hands a little more often to put on a great show, while keeping in mind that the show is not only about vocals. Rather than focusing on singing and dancing, I think there's going to be more emphasis on experience. So you know those aespa performances that SM have released themselves where they do their own amazing camera work, where they're kind of trying to teach other people how to do the amazing camera work, or performances where there's AR elements, where there's fake elements around them, where they're in a completely different universe. I think there's going to be more emphasis on those types of performances rather than strictly singing and dancing live performances, because there's so much more we could do now that we couldn't really do before. In terms of concepts, I do think the retro concept is here to stay, but I think we're going to have more emphasis on the 90s because we really did this year see a lot of 80s and early 2000s while almost completely skipping over 90s. So I feel like 2022 is really the year to experiment with that. I've even started changing my editing style to better reflect that. My profile picture is going to reflect that as well. So I asked you guys over on my Instagram to tell me your 2022 predictions. So let's look at a couple. 22 has a comeback because 2022, duh. I did say 22 would have a comeback in 2022. Well, a debut. We haven't debuted. But I think everyone left except me. So RIP 22. Blackpink comeback. Clown emoji. Twice will disband at the end of the year because not everyone will re-sign. Blackpink will have one mini album between March and July. Seems plausible. Blackpink and Ed Sheeran collab. IVE and aespa will be the big groups with ITZY and STAYC competition. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is really going to lead fourth gen girl groups and boy groups. A lot of world tours, aka 5 cities in the USA and Korea. Yeah, Blinks are really conflicted on how they feel, like another Blackpink drought or Blackpink might have a comeback. Gotta love it. Blackpink 5 albums. Someone literally wrote denim. I can see your username. So that is basically it for this video. Thank you for watching the sun set with me, alongside me. Leave in the comments down below your predictions for 2022. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. And you can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but I'll see you guys next time.